that before. Woohoo. Good evening and welcome to June 27th, 2024 Planning Board meeting. The first item on the agenda is George and Christina Overton, Dustin Tavern Road, tax map 411, 281 for a conceptual subdivision. Come on up, sir. Oh, sorry. Before I start, I need to appoint Ray as a voting member. So, go ahead. Thank you.
George Overton, 257 Dustin Tavern, and I have a piece of property that I want to subdivide. I have, if I can.
Yep,
take a piece of
sure,
it.
please.
I know what I want to do, so just.
Great.
So we can all, on similar pages. I have land that runs on 77, it goes down Oak Hill, that's the Tavern District. And then I also own land that goes up Forest Road, that's the residential portion. So, on the GIS map, it's kind of a rough estimate where I drew the line, but it's kind of already subdivided right there anyway as far as districts. So I figured that was probably the best place to go. That would leave 10 acres up Forest Road, and also I think 5.8 in the Tavern, which would be sufficient, I guess, enough for both to stand alone. There's a few different documents as far as other houses. On Forest Road, there's a shared right of way that 3 other residences use that I currently own. So that would be where I guess the proposed driveway would be if I were to subdivide and attempt to build a house up there. The other thing is, there's different pieces of paper. The last page is actually the minutes from 2014 where you actually proposed that as a solution to what they were trying to do. So that's what I would be trying to do.
You got your name and everything. Imagine that.
Thanks.
I remember that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I don't remember it, but that's okay.
So that's my goal. What I'm going to do exactly yet, I'm not sure, but I was looking for, I guess, a way to go for where I go from here if I did want to subdivide it, just get the permission first and then figure out what my options would be.
Well, the first thing I can think of is you say the proposed driveway has 3 houses on it now?
Yeah, there's a portion of my land there's a right of way. I also have a copy of the deed where I highlighted where it shows the easement for the right of way, because the 284 was subdivided off the property that I owned prior from the George family. So that was for a family member, so they had split it off, so there was a right of way there. I don't know if the rest of the subdivisions were from the George family or where that came from, but I do know that that portion was taken off the property that I currently own.
Yeah, I'm sure it was done with that bona fide gift rule, because
Yeah.
one lot has 0 frontage,
There's no
2
frontage at
lots.
all.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, I saw that. Wherever the map was.
So then I did highlight the 3 different residences that share off that driveway.
We used to have this funny rule in town that if it was going to a family member, you could do a bona fide gift 1 lot a year.
Oh, there you go.
And
Seems a
people
little
were taking advantage of it left and right,
Okay.
and you didn't need frontage on them.
Didn't need much of anything.
No.
Like, my concern is, and I don't know the history on your driveway, if it's more than 2 houses, well, maybe back up. The zoning allows 2 houses on a shared driveway. This is obviously pre-zoning. If you're gonna increase the nonconformity by going 4, you're gonna need a variance.
Okay. I wouldn't be grandfathered in if it was all kind of situated. right?
No, because your lot doesn't use it right now, right?
That's how I get to my top field. That's been used as a right of way for Dave Richards, grows corn
Okay.
up there.
Well, okay, maybe.
So that's been used as a right of way for years. That's how you get up there. There's a neighboring field that they're kind of landlocked. They utilize, I've given them permission to hay if they use that access road as well.
You know what I'd like to do, to be honest
I
with you?
probably should take a picture.
Well, yeah, that's what I was getting to. I mean, we've talked about this before, someone else came in, and the driveway was an issue. I think we probably ought to do a sidewalk.
Yeah, eventually.
And
Yeah, once you do.
maybe,
But I'm more concerned about the,
Yeah,
if we
no, I
allow
know.
somebody else to make a fourth lot off an existing driveway, for making a private road, and we know where that goes.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't wanna go there. So may have to make a separate driveway, is what I'm trying to say, maybe.
I'm not sure how that would be possible, but we just have to once we get there, I guess.
that's why I'm thinking putting eyes on it would help.
Yeah,
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't see, if it's, 10 acres or 5 acres, I see no issues. I mean,
Well, yeah, it's almost 5.8.
Yeah.
That's at that dividing line, which seems like a reasonable place to do it.
anybody else have any comments, questions? How far up the road's the cell tower? That's
Oh,
quite,
wait.
that's quite a ways up there yet, isn't it?
see that?
Yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 5 houses and then the cul-de-sac. and
That's the only time I've been there is when they were proposing the cell tower. It's the only time I've been up the
Yeah,
road,
Yeah,
so,
there's 5 other houses.
been a while.
Some are closer to the road, but most of them are further back.
Is that different? No, we've got a copy here.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah.
It's the same one he's got.
It's the same.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
He handed it out. Oh.
Yeah, I guess and this may be what you're alluding to, but since we just ran into it off River Road, I'm trying to remember the exact numbers on once you hit, is it 3 houses? At some point, you need to have a fire pond there.
Well, two houses are allowed a shared driveway. I think it's 4 before you need a cistern.
Okay.
Yeah, but those 3 lots that were subdivided off
Oh, before,
were before that, so
Probably.
he's starting from scratch right now. Those 3 don't count towards that 4,
Okay.
because it was, I think, 89 or something like that. There was,
I don't remember the date.
there's
I can find it.
any lot that was
Pre-existing.
pre-existing to when that ordinance came into effect didn't count towards that lot count.
Great.
And I'm sure those lots, they were created by bona fide gift, predated that.
Well, they were after 89. Or they could have been after 89, I should say.
Yeah.
I think I don't think you're worried about a cistern. Any other questions for us, comments? I don't see an issue, other than
Where do we go from here?
hire a surveyor.
You know, when I should make a meeting with the planning board or something?
Yeah, he'll do a survey, calculate the lot sizes, put bearing distances, everything, monumental lots, and he'll know what to do to come back here to submit to us.
Okay, are you gonna call me to plan a site walk, or is that after? the-
That would be with the formal application.
So I could get it all surveyed, and then you come and then just say, no, we're all set?
Right, yep.
Well, you still have to go through the application process.
No,
Yeah.
I understand that, I just didn't know if before the surveying and everything was done, if you wanted to do the site walk to see if it's something that even made sense to do. I figured if that's how that procedure that goes.
Typically, we don't, but I don't have a problem with doing it. Anybody else?
I don't either. I mean, it's been kind of a question in the past too, when the previous guy came in, what, 4 years ago?
That was 2014. was the last
2014?
10
years ago.
10 years ago.
Family, yeah,
They're not long already?
Yeah.
Because to be honest with you, it was a younger guy looking to build a house at top, but once he figured out what power and stuff was gonna cost him, I think he just figured it was over his head.
I'm just hoping a lot of people have done that already.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out at that point, I guess. Once we're sold.
So when would everybody want to do a site walk?
I don't defeat, hold your feet to the fire now, and you can figure out your schedules.
No, let's do it now. If we don't do it now, it's not gonna,
Fair enough?
Why don't we just do it before the next planning board meeting? It won't take long. We can drive right up there, right?
Yeah.
Do it on the 11th?
Yeah.
What day is that?
Next, Thursday, the 11th,
What time you want, 6?
6.
Sound good?
8 PM.
Oh, PM, come
I
on.
was gonna do whatever you want to do. I'll make myself available if you're getting up. Just wanted to be clear.
No, that way we have a planning board meeting, so we can go there at 6 o'clock, walk around, get over here by 7.
Works for me.
Okay. Sounds good.
Perfect. You guys wanna, you can keep those if you want.
Oh, yeah, we need one of them anyway.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Have a good night. You keeping this? That's different. Let me get my thing set up here before I. Okay, back to today. The second item on the agenda is a site plan review, DR Development, 220 Quaker Street, tax map 405, lot 2, residential zone. The applicant's proposing conversion of a duplex into a condominium units. And we have an application here someplace, I assume.
Yep, there should be an application for the 3 different varieties.
That should be enough, right?
Do you have one more?
You should also have the condominium documents. Maybe they didn't get to you.
Oh, give me a minute here, sir.
They're like 50 pages each.
You don't have anything there, 50 pages.
Yes, I do.
You do.
I did this in 5 cents.
Oh, yeah, we got plans all over the place here, thank you. So you have on your checklist some things checked off as waiver requests. I assume you actually mean to say not applicable? Like,
Yeah,
well, elevation view, I guess that'd be a waiver, but,
yeah, a lot of it is not applicable.
but name and width of proposed roads, that's not applicable. Sidewalks, pedestrian vehicle circulation, parking spaces, exterior lighting.
She didn't seem to have a form that was. really
No, there isn't.
applicable for this application.
Do you have the wells and the septic system on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do an NA beside these things that are
Okay.
like parking spaces,
Needs to be
exterior
50 feet.
lighting.
Yeah.
identification of existing and proposed on-site wells and showing the approximate radius in all wells within 100 feet.
He didn't show a radius, but the well's on there.
What's this number?
Finished floor, so.
No signs. We got soil data? No?
No, there's no soil there. It's a house that was built 6 years ago.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
And it received subdivision approval 10 years ago.
Yeah, something like that, probably, yeah.
For the condos?
No,
No.
just,
Just for,
2 lots.
Yeah.
Oh, to create duplex.
yeah, you need state subdivision approval because you're creating a condo. It's kind of a crazy rule.
And you have to get state subdivision approval for condo,
Yeah,
for the subsurface system.
yeah.
Makes no sense, but you have to. So technically, I think he needs a waiver for the elevation view or photograph of all the buildings showing dimensions and all that kind of stuff.
Well, there is.
He's got this.
Ah, he checked waiver.
Yeah, I think we're good with that. And he's got floor plans here too. Which he needed to do
Well,
for
he
the
needs
AG's
that,
office
yeah.
anyway.
Condominium map,
Right.
356, colon, whatever it is, 21, I think.
That's why he's got the finished floor elevations on here, and sill elevations. That's,
356B20, sorry.
you got the leach field, the tank, well, but no well radius. It's a tree,
Where's the what?
right in front of the house. Front yard.
Oh.
Wait, there's 2 bedrooms per unit, or
3.
3? So you need a 100-foot well radius.
Either way, he's got it.
Hmm?
He's got it,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure.
You don't know if town council's checked these over
Well,
yet.
before we get all excited here, we ought to at least vote on this waiver and accept the application's complete.
That's true.
Yeah. Don't get all excited. So we don't have any waivers, because he has the
He's
elevation.
got
view.
these.
So we need to accept the application complete. and then
He doesn't
appears
have-
to be complete.
He doesn't have the soil type on here.
Oh, yeah, that would be the only one he needs a waiver for, right, soils, I asked about that.
He's got an approved septic system, he's got the approval number on here.
Yeah, that's note number
Yeah. 7,
7.
yeah. Make a motion, we accept the application, actually, make a motion to grant the waiver for soils type.
Do we have a second? Second. Discussion?
So is there, I guess, is that the only copy of the application?
Yeah, if you want it.
Yeah, 'cause I guess I wouldn't feel right voting on it without ever looking at it.
I gave 5 sets.
I think we only got one copy of the application, but, oh, that goes to all the departments and stuff, I
I see.
assume.
Has the board
Pardon me?
Does the board accept questions from the audience before?
Sooner or later, yes. Not yet. Oh, I thought that was a 7. I said, what's a 7 for? That's not a 7, it's a line type.
Yeah, it looks like a 7, but it's a kink in a line.
Good.
So essentially, this was just, I think I read this somewhere, this is just changing the designation for all practical purposes from a
Multifamily,
multifamily duplex to a condominium.
correct.
So no structural changes, nothing, no
No,
graphical,
nothing.
It's a duplex on one lot right now, so it's all one ownership. After this, he can sell both sides, either side.
They can't do that with a duplex?
No, because it's all one ownership. You can live on one side and rent the other side out, but,
Right.
so you gotta do the condex to be able to,
And on the plan, Jim Donaldson, on the plan, it's the limited common area for unit A is defined and the limited common area for unit B is defined. Meets and bounds as presented by Tim Bernier, surveyor. And the rest of the 6.7 acres is common.
Would you mind repeating the motion?
You want to grant the,
just the waiver.
grant the waiver for
Or
the
which one, though?
soils type?
Okay, because that's one of them that was marked NA, so,
I wrote that. It shouldn't be NA. I was getting ready to cross it out.
okay. But the rest of the NAs are still applicable?
The rest of the NAs are not applicable,
Okay.
like the sidewalks and proposed roads and,
And then there's still one waiver request for an elevation view, but then
That's here.
it
We
was,
have it.
right. That does not need a waiver?
That's correct.
nope, we got it.
All right. So what's the correct way to amend this?
Amend the application,
Yeah, I mean,
just to grant the waiver for the soils and scribble on that. We don't need a waiver for the elevation view because they're provided.
okay.
Didn't we do a subdivision here in the 2 lots?
Yeah, originally, going way back
And then you came back and merged
15
them?
years ago maybe, we created 2 lots out of this, and then.
Then you merged them?
Then merged them, that is correct.
This was separate from this?
No,
No?
actually, it was,
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
it was pretty much where the house, that frontage that you
This
see on Quaker Street, that kind of split in half, and the line went up the middle.
Okay.
But no,
I'm just killing time while we're waiting to see if everybody's gonna grant the motion or not.
right,
Rather than sitting here saying nothing, I thought I'd say something. So we have a,
Yeah, I mean, it seems reasonable that it's no new construction. I guess I wish I better understood why the soil survey data were needed.
When you're doing a
Normally-
subdivision, we need
well,
it
if you're
first.
doing a subdivision or a site plan, we ask for the soils, because you're verifying lot sizes and that type of thing.
Yep, and
It's the
since,
same application for this as it is for the,
right, and that's, I mean, that's what makes sense, and if that's, if the construction's not changing, then sure, it seems reasonable
there's
to.
no construction proposed at all, so.
Okay. You good?
Any other comments, questions about the waiver requests? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstain? Application complete.
Now, make a motion, we accept the application as complete.
Second.
Discussion?
So we, I guess, again,
All-
this is like the first time I'm going through, like, this part of the
But-
process,
but we-
so,
By us saying the
Yeah.
application is complete means we take jurisdiction over the application.
sure.
It doesn't mean it's approved or anything else. It just means we
Okay.
have the information to
you.
continue.
Okay, sure,
Actually, starts the statutory time clock.
okay,
Yes, we have 60 days to do something. Approve, deny.
okay. Actually, it just, coincidence, I saw today, I think that law changed in 2022, it's 90 days now.
They changed it back to 90 days again?
That's, I was looking through
Of course they did.
land use board stuff, and the most recent stuff on the, I don't remember all the acronyms, but you know, the state board that like helps put out documentation, help bring people up to speed. They're like, hey, these are the changes in 2022. I don't think they've updated it since then, or 2023. And yeah, it said the date, it had gone from 60 to 90 days.
Figures. Anyway. All those in favor of accepting the application is complete?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstain? Okay. Now make your presentation, please, sir.
Okay. Jim Donison, principal of DNR Development, own this property at 220 Quaker Street. It's a 6.7 acre lot at the corner of Quaker and John Connor. There exists a two-family, multifamily or duplex unit on the property. And what's being proposed is to convert the two-family to condominiums, called Quaker Street condominiums. Included as part of the application was a survey plan prepared by Tim Bernier, surveyor out of Concord, which shows the 6.7 acre property as well as the meets and bounds that he had surveyed as part of the original application a number of years ago that Craig mentioned when it was a duplex and then it merged, or it was a two-lot subdivision, then it merged into one, and then the duplex was constructed. As part of the 6.728 acres of the total area, there's going to be limited common area for each of the condominium units, approximately 4,500 square feet, which includes the house, deck in the backyard, and driveway, and part of the front yard and the backyard. They're served by a common well located in front, and a common leach field system, and common driveway. Included as part of the package were elevation views of the unit, which will be filed with the registry of deeds as part of the condominium document declaration, as well as the garage or shed, in which 50/50 will be split between the condominium units. And part of the submission, we included a declaration of condominium documents, which defines in detail the legalities of preparing the condominium and who's got responsibilities, and that too will be filed with the registry. And that is it. I'm here to request approval for Quaker Street condominium.
So the shed in the front is gonna be part of the unit?
The shed in the front will be owned 50/50 by the unit A will own the front side and the unit B will own the other side.
As part of the unit or part of the limited?
Unit A has
I
less
guess
control
it's
of
part of the
this
unit.
Part of
Did
the limited common
B has
area.
control of this area.
And then everybody has
it
this.
say that someplace on here? I didn't see that.
Then
I could have missed it. I just saw this two sheds there, A and B together, I'm like, what is that? And then you started talking about shed storage. If they're gonna be in limited common area, it needs to be defined. By meets and bounds.
Right.
I don't see anything about the sheds other than they're there.
Well, the shed is, I guess, I wonder why you need some balance for the shed, because it's just gonna be the area of the building itself, which is 20 by 24.
Well, I was gonna add, we need at least a tie to the units to
Okay.
the property line,
Yeah,
and a tie to the limited common area to the property line, otherwise it's just sitting there in the middle of,
Yeah.
could be anywhere.
okay, all right.
Same way with A and B, I mean theoretically, we have a,
You could put meets and bounds on the outside of the shed.
right,
Okay, yep, okay, meets and bounds. on the
see,
outside.
theoretically, we have a massive forest fire and it wipes out everything, you gotta be able to recreate it. I always show bearings distance to the units and to the limited common area.
Okay, and we'll add a note, limited, that the shed, unit A and unit B will be limited common area for A and B with meets and bounds,
And have them throw the well radius on there, Willie's.
and add a well rated.
Well, I got a list of things going here.
Okay.
I don't see the common area identified. It may be someplace and I missed it.
You mean the balance of the area?
Yes,
Okay. Add note
just
for the,
common area, big letters somewhere.
okay,
Wetland buffer note. Usually we have a note added to the plan, C note, then where it says 25-foot buffer, say C note 8. Then note 8 would say something right out of the zoning. It's 25-foot buffer to be maintained. Let me find my zoning.
Yeah, comes down through here. There's a little piece over here.
Ah, shoot. Now I'm in trouble.
So limited common area is usually shared between two, it's more than one, right? So would the backyard area here that contains the deck and stuff actually be limited common area?
that's how the surveyor defined it, yes.
Technically, all you own is the unit. You don't own any of the common area. It's in,
Right, well, that's
it
what
could
I'm
be
asking.
25 people.
Yeah,
The limited common area is usually just one person.
exactly, right.
So limit-
Inside the unit and probably inside unit A and B would be considered the unit, owned by
The
one
house, the
person.
house is the unit. The deck is not part of the unit.
Well-
The yard is not part of the unit, typically.
But it's part of the limited common area.
Correct.
Right.
So if I own unit A, you can't come over and sit on my deck, because it's my deck. It's my limited, it's limited to my use.
So in the condominium that, in other condominium documents that have gone through, limited common area is defined as kind of that, it's generally not a single-use person for, like you said, the deck, right? I would consider that
Limited common area is usually one person.
not in the documents that I have.
Okay. In that instance,
It's
it's
like
not.
the sidewalk outside a unit is considered limited, or say a finger dock,
Yep,
right? It's limited common area, because you got
Two people.
two people,
right.
right? So it's for more than one, but generally not many, where common area is many.
Common area is
We
everybody.
actually have to
Common
define,
area is everybody,
right,
everybody in the association.
we actually have to define the siding on the building and who owns that, right? Because that's part of limited common area.
Typically, that's the condominium association owns the siding and the roof. Right. So you can't paint your house, you can't put new siding on it, you can't put a new roof on it. If it leaks, it's too bad, you gotta wait for the condominium
Unless
association.
it's defined in the covenants.
And the condominium
Typically.
covenants define limited common area. Each unit shall have an pertinent limited common area, which is shown approximately on the plans. Each owner shall be responsible for the maintenance, repair, and replacement of the driveway, lawn, patio, deck, or other improvements pertinent to a unit in the limited common area. So it's very defined.
The limited common area could be, if there's 20 people, could be 19 people, could be one person, could be anywhere in between.
Yeah,
So,
and I guess as long as it's defined. under the
most of
covenant.
the ones I've done, yes, you have the driveway, obviously in front of your house is your limited common to you only. I mean, I see what you mean with the dock, you have two boats, so two people can walk down the dock. The wetland buffer note I was talking about is 28.9 in the zoning.
28.9.
Yes, basically, if you just copy that and make note number 8, you're golden.
Okay.
Question for the board. I see the wetlands were flagged in 2010. I personally think that's fine, so we're not doing anything, but it's up to the board to at least point that out to everybody that they're almost 15 years old. If you're doing anything in the wetlands, or if you were doing anything close to the wetlands, I would want the wetlands updated personally, but
Yep, no, we're not touching the wetlands.
I just want to point it out to everybody that it says the wetlands were delineated in spring of 2010. I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah, they didn't build a road across there, which would
Right.
disrupt the flow of the water, so.
The only other comment I have is, we've kind of, well, monuments, property monuments.
Yep,
It appears to be a lot of angle points with nothing on the ground, along the frontage at least.
oh, they're there. Oh, I see. Okay, I see.
Whole bunch of little circles
Yeah,
with nothing, no iron pin, no granite bound, no anything like that. Same way on John Connor Road.
right,
I don't know if that's
that was
drafting or if it's,
from the original survey.
were they set in 2010?
No.
Oh, that's why that one bound is there in the middle of the
There's one,
property.
yeah, there's one in the middle,
Yeah, that's why, because that's the two lots.
yeah.
Yeah,
Do we want to figure out why that was there?
How about that stone wall in the back, is there drill holes in it or anything?
well, I can't answer that question.
There's one in the east end.
There is a stone wall.
We have been in the last quite a few years requiring those to be monumented with a drill hole, and the same with the front to be monumented with a granite bound.
You mean each one of those points?
Yes.
Yeah, you just simply the legend, that's just the angle point. Going to the legend, in the stone wall. No drill holes.
Yeah, but it could be
Yes,
it may have been set in 2010 and,
Yes, it was.
you know, I mean, there could be drill holes the whole way along the back set in 2010, and the draftsman just put circles there because, whatever reason.
'Cause,
I can see how that could happen.
I mean, can I, ask for a waiver on that? Cause this survey plan was done 2010 by, Tim Bernier, in which he defined all of these meets and bounds. And he did put the, that front monument that you're referring to, which had created the two lots.
Yes, that one.
Right here.
Because we're not changing the, any of the property boundaries.
What's the board think of that? typically we haven't been, on subdivisions, we have not been granting that waiver.
Right, I'm just not looking at this as a subdivision.
So I'd be curious to see how the deed spells it out, if it's kind of, if it says, you know, a long stone wall or whatnot.
No, it has all those different dimensions.
But then it'll
Deed
just say,
is probably from this
it'll say
plan.
to a point,
Right.
or it references the plan, doesn't say anything.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that's my point, is if it only references the plan, well, then maybe that's more reason to put it out there as ground.
I am pretty sure that the deed that we have has all of the meets and bounds included as part of the outline of that 6.728 acres. Has the northern, the eastern, and the dimensions.
Let's go back to that. Anybody else have any comments?
I just had one going back to, if you're gonna set the shed as a limited common area, you read from your covenant document, that spelled out, you know, what people are responsible for, you may wanna
Okay,
include that.
add that. Sure.
How about some monuments for the limited common area, huh?
No. That can be changed without us ever seeing it.
No, that's why I wanna make sure that they get, like, so I wanna have the town attorney review that, make sure that they can't just get rid of the association without planning board approval.
Any other comments, questions from the board?
We're gonna need town attorney to review the,
Yeah.
Okay.
Seeing no other questions at the moment, anybody from the public like to speak? Yes, sir, come on up, state your name and address, please.
Travis Corcoran, 275 Quaker Street. I'm quite familiar with zoning code. I'm less familiar with the planning board and its operations. So I just have a few questions. And in this particular matter, a neighbor knocked on my door 20 minutes before the meeting and said, I think there's a variance before the zoning board. You know, I don't know if they're building new condos. So I said, you know, I'd be happy to rush down here and join the meeting and ask a few questions. So first of all, my understanding is that this is before the planning board, and this is for the record additionally, it's before the planning board, not the zoning board. There is not a variance being requested because there is no request to use the land in a manner that is incompatible with the approved uses in the zoning district.
Planning boards don't see variances.
Right, and-
Yeah, so no, definitely no variances.
A lot of this is, I'm 95%, but, and so, having read through very quickly the planning board manual, and some of your, procedures, this application is basically for a subdivision, and subdivisions are, here's 100 acres, we're gonna subdivide it into 20 lots. This is subdividing one lot into, basically, there will be 2 deeds and 2 pieces of ownership, is that correct?
Be 2 condo units,
Okay.
yes.
And
Will be
then-
2 deeds, yes.
Cool, thank you. And the final thing is, there is no application at this time to build any additional structure, is that
No.
correct?
Correct.
Great. So with that being the case, I have no comments, I just had those questions, and thank you very much.
You're welcome.
thank you, Travis.
Anybody else have any questions, comments? Come on up, sir. State your name and address, please.
Adam Jacobs, 191 Quaker. So I understand that there's no request to do any construction right now. If this were approved and now this property is, I guess, approved for condominiums, is there something in place that would prevent that, say, that same building from being demolish and a larger unit put in with, say, 20 condominiums.
You'd have to come back to the board
Right,
to do anything like that.
so doing something like this doesn't change any future plans for the
No.
property owner. It only affects what's there right
All it affects is the ownership of the two halves of the building.
now. Okay.
No,
That's all.
nothing to be built. Anybody else like to speak? Questions, comments? Oop, one more, okay.
Lisa Brilliant, 232 Piper Street. Piper Street's a historic street, so I'm just wondering if there's, and now I'm a little more concerned because like Mr. Jacobs said, somebody could come back in and say, okay, this is we're approved for condominiums. So, I have concerns about further approvals for condominiums on my historic streets.
We will be, the application's for 2 units of an existing duplex. If he's gonna do anything else, he's got to come back in. If he's gonna add more units,
Yeah.
do any construction like that, he has to come back into us for a site plan approval.
But once that approval's done for, okay, you're allowed to have condominiums,
2 units,
2 units,
yes.
then now you've opened up this can of worms that we can have condominiums on Quaker Street or on any other street.
Yep.
You know, in town, that we
Yep.
could have
Can,
condominiums.
state law says you can.
You can.
We did one a couple years ago up on Rolling Hills.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think my further concern, just as a neighbor, is that, and I'm on Parks and Rec, so I see this all the time on the lake. We have all of these different people now from out of state that own property on the lake. We have neighbors, right, who own this right now, who are renting it out. If there's a problem, I know I can go to the Donisons and say, hey, there's an issue. We've had a few little issues, nothing I need to go on, go to them about. But if there was an issue, now I've got somebody who owns it, who lives in Massachusetts, and somebody else who owns it, lives in Connecticut. I don't have somebody, this is a major concern for me as a neighbor.
If Jim sells it the way it is right now, you'd have the same issue, possibly.
Possibly, but at least then it's one owner and not how does this work? Are they gonna be able to keep a condo association?
There will be a condo,
Just as it's all new stuff. So-
there's a condo association with two members, yes.
Yeah,
I don't know how they're gonna get 4 officers out of 2 members, but that's beside the point. But yeah, I mean, it's allowed by our regulations, our zoning and subdivision regulations, and it happens quite a bit, honestly. Yeah, it said, talk to Jim, you gotta talk to the owner of unit A and the owner of unit B, sorry.
okay. Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else like to speak? Going once, going twice, okay. Close the public comment. State subdivision approval. So right now on my list, I got 100-foot well radius, wetland buffer note, common area labeled, you're gonna revise the limited common area for units, the shed. You're gonna put a mathematical tie to the units and to the limited common area from the property line. We forgot to mention, well, we mentioned it, but NHDES subdivision approval. So the last question is monuments.
Could you go over the NHDS subdivision, you mean for the subsurface system?
Yes.
Yes.
No, for the condominium, for the
context. It's
subdivision for condos.
Technically a subdivision per the state. They want your $600, to be blunt, that's all. You're gonna file a little 2-page form, give them $600. You might have to put a stake in the ground where the test pit was back in 2010, and they'll go out and drive by and look at it and cash your check and be happy. It's DES, you know that.
Okay.
Tie.
Ties, yeah, run a tie from the lot line to one of these corners, like from that pin right there to one of these corners, so it can be located.
Right now, the whole limited common area I was trying to explain could be over here. We don't know, it could be in my backyard. We don't know where it is, so it's gotta be tied down to a corner to.
Yeah, either meets and bounds on the shed or ties, right? Okay.
Yeah, personally, I would probably do 2 ties to each corner,
You got a
That
corner
granite
not too
bound.
far away.
do 2 ties, then put a bearing and bearings around it, distance around it, and you got it.
You get that 6x6 granite bound right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Back to
Back to
monumentation.
monuments. Just an FYI, I counted 9 bounds and 11 drill holes. I may be off. That was a fairly quick count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 bounds, yes. I miscounted. I got 12 drill holes, or 12 rebars or drill holes or something.
You count around the corner, John Connor John Connor Road.
Yes, I counted the 9 bounds includes John Conant Road.
Okay.
But we have a verbal request for a waiver, so I know in the past, like I said, well, 15 years ago, we would have said good enough, but in the last 8 or 10 years, we've been making them set them.
We have.
Yes, we have.
So we should probably stick to that.
That's what I think, but I'm letting you guys talk about it. I
Because it
just-
sets a precedence, right?
Right.
Right.
So I don't think that's a
Technically, it's a subdivision, or wouldn't be here, so I realize that, anyway, I understand Jim's point. Probably talking a couple days of field work. And those drill holes may already be there, it's just a drafting thing.
And do you mind clarifying, earlier you pointed out all the different angle points. Are you suggesting that each of the existing angle points gets marked, or are you only
Yes.
interested in where the boundaries intersect? Okay.
Every angle point.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
And what about along the top?
Yeah,
That's
almost
where I
done.
counted 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
And again, it's more like, what I'm driving at is, I want to make sure it's clear what we ask if we ask for something. If it's every angle point on here needs a drill hole, like, so be it.
That's why I mentioned 9 bounds and 12 drill holes. Because yes, every angle point needs a
Just
drill
thought
hole,
there were,
drill hole or a rebar.
well, it was 12 along the north side and more along
No,
Quaker.
it's 9 bounds total on Quaker Street and John Connor. And it's 12 drill holes or rebars along the north line. It would be on the north line of lot 3. There's that angle point in the middle,
There's 9, there's a pipe,
and there's a point here as well.
that's, Iron Road Foul.
You know what I mean, Jim?
Could you repeat that?
I counted 9 granite bounds,
Yeah,
starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay, 8 granite bounds along the road frontage.
If it's a drill hole in an existing stone wall, that's okay too? Hopefully that's the case, it's for your benefit.
It says drill hole set. So there's a
And
drill hole there.
drill hole or rebar for the other corners is along the back wall at
That's a
1,
gra-
2,
that's a 6 by
3,
6
4,
granite bound.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then there's the north corner
Yeah, I don't know what's
between
there.
you and Dwayne Fortier.
Another Iron
There's
Rod-
one there.
Iron rod iron pipe.
And then there's one behind the sand
There's
berm,
nothing there.
kind of between
That's one of the ones Craig's counting.
Quaker Street
He's counting that
Mm-hmm.
one as the 9.
here. The 12.
Okay, so are you just looking certifications from a surveyor that the drill holes are there?
I'd prefer showing a drill hole symbol set or found or whatever on the map. You have to do, obviously edits anyway with a 100-foot well radius and the
Yeah,
limited common area, et cetera.
okay, that, they exist.
State subdivision approval number should be on here. Wetland note should be on here. So that's 7 conditions, right? 2. And 8. And the town attorney reviewing the comment box.
And fees are paid. And fees are paid.
Yes, and that fee is paid
Yes.
especially, yes.
What fees are those?
The town attorney review
The
fee.
town attorney
Oh,
review
town
fee.
attorney review fees. Okay.
You
ready?
motion? I'm ready. I'm done.
Okay,
Even wrote them down for you.
thanks. I'll make a motion that we conditionally approve the subdivision plan with the following conditions. 100-foot well radius be shown on the plan. Wetland buffer note be added to the plan. Monuments be set at all angle points. Drill holes in walls and granite bounds along the street. The common area location be identified. And the limited common areas that are missing be added, where I'm shed,
And tied to the property line.
tied to the property line. DES subdivision approval, number be on the plan. We have to have the attorney review the declaration of condo documents, and the fees be paid by the applicant. And we need a letter from the surveyor certifying all the monuments have been set.
And hopefully it puts them on the map. As set.
And, yes, and show on the map.
Yeah, we don't need a letter if he has them on the map.
Okay.
I just want to make note for the record, I think there's 9 bounds and 12 drill holes to be set. 12 bounds and 9 angle points, I should
Use that as
say.
a guide, not a Bible.
Yeah, and that's mostly for our own reference. If I say it, then we'll get in the motion, then I'll see it when I go to sign the plan. Otherwise, I won't.
Well, and I guess that's why I was trying to clarify earlier, because
Well, we'll-
just along the top line, it's 11 by my count.
Plus the one in red.
That's right.
Right,
That's why I said-
I'm talking just the wall.
That's why I
and
say
then there's-
use it as a
10.
guide, not
Right,
gospel.
that's, yeah,
There's 10, because there's a drill hole set on the far end of the wall.
sure. So nine to be done, but only along the top wall, but then there's more along John Connor, there's more along, that angle, then along Quaker.
Now, let me count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
But what about up and down John Connor?
Pardon me?
What about along John Connor?
That's part of the 9 bounds. Roadway frontage gets a granite bound. If it's not a roadway frontage, it gets a rebar or a drill hole.
But my point is, there are angle points spelled out on the map in
Yes.
the walls.
Yeah, they need to be bounds, not drill holes.
It could be a drill hole. No,
if they're already there.
Right.
But if they're not there, you get a set bounds.
That's, right, that's what I'm getting at. I just want, like, I don't want the number to be super low if,
Well, I count 4 on John Connor Road.
and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on Quaker.
Yes,
If
nine
it's a
bounds.
drill hole in the rock, that's acceptable.
Yes,
If it's there now, yeah.
yeah.
But just to echo what Bruce said, don't quote these numbers.
Right. We need all the frontage angle points monument with a granite bound and rear and sidelines monument with a rebar or drill hole, yes. Hopefully it's 9 bounds and 12 drill holes.
Yeah, each turning point,
Yeah.
they'll be either, they'll
Some kind of,
denote that drill hole bound or iron pin set.
yeah.
Or stone bound.
Or could be,
Or set, yeah.
could be rebar set in 2010, we don't know. Something. Some kind of physical monument.
I'll
You-
second the motion.
You accept the changes to your motion?
Yes.
personally? You do second the motion?
Yes.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? Congratulations.
Continue to the next meeting?
Nope, get it done, bring it in, and I'll sign it.
Oh, okay.
Nothing critical missing.
No. There's nothing that's gonna make me make a major decision.
All right, great, thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Okay, there's that.
That's a big lawn for that little mower. Sure you've upgraded your library.
Next item on the agenda is a lot line adjustment for Sylvia Pope. Flanders Memorial Road, Hodgson Road, tax map 40779 and 40783. Let me see what we got here. We got plans. Town doesn't even open room mail.
Probably know what's in it.
Yeah, it came from the town, so they should.
Certified for this project?
Yeah,
To the town?
yeah.
Oh, because you're.
What about it? Came from the town to the town. Oh, geez. Okay, so we got an application for a subdivision. Yes. You don't have checked on the checklist total area or subject parcel prior to subdivision, yabba dabba do. Ah,
For waiver.
because it's total wetland and all that kind of stuff, you're asking for a waiver from that, okay. Same thing with topography, same thing with wetland, same thing with with soils.
Yep. And that's just due to both these lots are larger than life. And there's open lot, 12.3 acres, 5 acres is the minimum zoning, so it's well in excess of requirements. And it's no new lots created. Existing house on the lot is going to be smaller than two.
So we have a waiver request for, oh, I missed the number 7, requiring buildings and other setbacks? Oh, wetlands, is that what you're talking about? No, you're not showing any setbacks.
I could add the setbacks to the lot 40779 that was precisely surveyed, but in asking for the wetlands waiver and the the waiver for the resulting parcel, I just added it all on there.
So we're asking for a waiver from building setbacks from total area of parcel, topography, delineated wetlands, and soil types, and test pits. And 4,000 square foot area.
I've got a little issue.
What's up?
Well, how do we know he's leaving any dry land on 40783? There's no house on it yet. It's an empty lot, right?
Yeah, we're adding 31 acres to it in the back.
Why don't we let him explain what he's gonna do for this one? This is kinda weird. How's that for an idea?
That's fine. So Piscataqua
But
one.
what okay, go ahead.
I wanna hear what, I don't understand it.
River Watershed Association, looking to pick up these two lots and another standalone. So 40779 has 31.18 acres per the reference plan in the back that they wanna add to lot 83 to then protect, and leaving the house on 12.82 acres up by the road.
So that 40783 is gonna have a permanent conservation easement on it? Does it allow one structure?
Or
Does it allow
are they buying it?
So they're buying it after this is done. They expressly said that they don't want to put a contingency on this, that it has to be put into conservation prior because of valuations and whatnot for the deal they have going for assessments and what have you. So that's the whole purpose behind this. However, it can't happen until after this has been done and changed hands.
Well, could we put a note on here saying it's intended that this go into conservation easement?
Intended, sure. I mean, we can certainly put that note on there, but it's kind of a nothing note.
Well,
If it makes you feel better, we can certainly.
it kinda will, because I mean,
Let's back up. Right now, 4079 is this, right?
right,
Great
Yeah.
big piece.
Yep.
And
Down the wall.
83 is this.
Yep.
So you're taking
4
parcel
acres of
B,
83.
and adding it to 79.
So if you're familiar driving by the site, the crest of the hill, there's the little yellow house and then the field downhill of it. So the field is going to be added to the yellow house, and then the rest of the land in the back is gonna go to the lot that did have the field in it.
The field where I saw you surveying that one day.
Yep, yeah,
Okay.
and the idea behind that
That's in
is
parcel B,
that,
okay.
Piscataqua River doesn't want the field, the owner wants the field, and Piscataqua River doesn't want the maintenance and what have you of the field, so it was a, yeah,
Yep,
it just worked,
win-win.
it worked for them.
Yep. So lot 40779 being 12.82 acres already has an existing house, barn,
Correct.
well.
Yep, no proposed changes, it's already there. The only change is that it drops down in area, but it's still well above minimum lot size.
Yeah, it's still gonna be 12 acres, they're almost 13 acres.
Right.
I'm sorry, I've got to interject real quick. I forgot, is the microphone on up there?
I have
Is there a
no
green
idea.
light? So it changed, I don't know, a couple months ago. And if you just,
Oh, it's on now.
okay.
Looks like we missed the whole beginning of the meeting.
I'll have to make sure the minutes taker knows what she is.
At least I wrote down a lot of notes in the first one. That'll help the minutes. Okay. So you're asking for a waiver from,
Everything on the back area, monuments, it's not, it's been, I show the rear areas per some older reference plans, and I write on here that the acreage is per the reference plan, because I feel like they might be a little bit small, so we're not
surveying that 40 acres essentially in the back. We're just looking to adjust the front line so that house can sit on a lot and be conveyed separately. What's in the back, it's there, it's monumented mostly by walls, it's getting larger.
Okay. Now that makes this area a mess. Somebody did this application, but that's okay. So I certainly understand the total area of the parcel to be shown, because you're saying the area is per plan reference 2.
Yep.
However, 407, the new proposed.
All precisely
407 lot
surveyed.
79 is completely surveyed.
Yep.
And you can show setbacks in that. Obviously, you're asking for waiver from wetlands, so you're
Yeah,
not gonna show.
there is no
wetlands.
there is no wetland at all on that, but I can show, I'm comfortable showing building setbacks all the way around.
Can you add a note saying there's no wetlands on 407, 79, or parcel B?
Per Dan Higginson,
You just told me there was no wetlands on it.
right, not a wetland scientist.
Okay, we won't go there. So you want a waiver from wetlands, soil types, topography, the total area for parcel, for lot 83,
Yep,
the 42 acre lot,
yep,
and building setbacks for 43, or 83.
yep,
And you can obviously even show them on 79.
yep. And I didn't specifically ask for monuments on 83, but with the approximate boundary, approximate areas, I feel like that follows suit.
I assume, they don't want to see that again?
And Bruce, I show the well, but not the radius at this scale. It would just look like a bullseye. I mean, I certainly can, but I feel like it's cleaner not showing the radius on that. I can add it. I mean, that's fine.
Where's Leachfield?
I'll add that too.
Money's all been set on parcel.
Yep.
79.
79.
What's here?
That's a pin.
Oh,
I must have a layer off. If you look on the legend side, there's no pin shown there, so something's frozen. I saw that when I was sitting in the audience.
so the southwest, southeast corner,
Southeast, yep.
what, 79. Fix the legend.
Any chance we can get some kind of topo on here?
On lot 79 or on the whole thing?
You know, you don't have to do it by hand, I mean.
No, I mean,
Or something,
if you want some, yeah.
just so you can see that it's hilly and it's not all wet.
Sure.
Right now, we can't tell anything.
Yep, so obviously it won't be on the Mylar, but just on the plans for the town.
Right. That make sense?
I would make a sheet 3 and 4 with topo on it, record sheets 1 and 2.
Yeah.
That's what I would do, but it's up to you.
I like it the way it is.
What contour interval you want in the topo?
5's okay.
And so some places up here, it's gonna be really cluttered too,
It's, so
on this sheet.
40779, the resulting, I actually did work on that years and years, like 15 years ago. It is a great lot. It's the top of a hill and it's relatively flat. But then as you drop down, it gets quite a bit
Yeah,
steeper.
it's getting pretty steep down through here.
Yeah.
I drive by either here or here, once a day, well, actually both. Once a day.
What are you checking on over there?
He's counting
I'm
sheep.
leaving my house and going this way. Well, I go this way, I used to go this way to work, but I come this way home.
There's no ice cream.
Variety is the spice of life.
Can you, sheet one, can you get all of LaFrance on the sheet?
All of La France.
Road, the name?
Move your text.
Sure.
So we have waivers to consider first. Again, I was kind of passing time until we got there. Waivers for showing building setbacks. I'm gonna revise that on lot 83,
Yep.
showing total parcel area of lot 83. We're not gonna go with topography if he agrees to do it. Wetlands, soil types, and test pits in 4,000 square foot area.
And
Since this lot 83 is gonna be going to conservation, I certainly don't see the sense in going out there and digging a test pit.
no,
And I'm sure on 42 acres, I could find a suitable test pit.
There is adequate area.
Yes, there is. And
If it was remotely tight, I wouldn't be asking for these waivers.
we have a motion? Maybe?
I'll make a motion. That we grant waivers for setbacks, soil types, test pits on lot 83 or 79, because it's existing septic system on there.
How about saying grant waivers as listed?
Okay, grant waivers is
That'd be-
listed, well, topo's not listed on there, is it?
Oh, yes.
We're not granting waiver for the topo.
And you're comfortable with the not setting monuments on the area in the back that's, we've asked for the waiver on?
Well, hang on. Let me finish my note here to myself. So basically, you're asking for a waiver to only monument lot
79.
Again, it's proposed lot line.
Proposed lot 79.
Yeah, the proposed lines, it's got drill holes on either end.
Why the little 8.82 foot jog down at the bottom?
There's a barway there,
Okay,
so we just landed it at the side of the barway. It makes sense when you're out there looking at it.
okay. I was curious.
That was actually kind of cool. The rock had like an L shape in it, so I had like 2 drill holes in the one rock. I'd never done that before.
That's cool.
I thought so. I figured you'd appreciate
It's
it.
the one so far back in the woods, I can see it.
It's worth the walk. It really is.
Once the deer flies are gone, maybe.
Yeah. It's a great, great piece of land.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Discussion. What do we think?
I think, for me, given the stated intention, it seems reasonable. I think if you know, a year from now, it's like, actually, it fell through, and we want to, put a whole subdivision there, it's like, well, hold on a minute, and if.
That would
as
be
part
back,
of-
that would be back here for a whole different
Right,
application
and if
anyway.
part of that, it was like, well, hey, June 27th, y'all got, you said it was okay, well, no.
That's why I think we
Yeah.
put an intended note on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's the intention, actually, at this point. So if it comes back, we didn't do what was intended.
all I have to add.
I think the intention note is good. That document.
We're gonna vote on the waivers, what are you doing?
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained? Okay, now we need to make the thing, application complete, if it is.
Make a motion, we accept the application as complete.
Thank you. We got a motion and a second, any discussion?
Did I understand it right? Is it complete even though we said, hey, you need to put the topo lines on?
We're not approving it.
He's
That'll be
Just, you know, making sure.
That'll be a condition.
Yeah, but the application is complete even though
Yes.
that criteria is never met.
He's gonna
Okay.
come back.
We-
Okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstained? Okay. Comments from the board?
I'd like to add a note saying what the intended use of the lot 83 is.
Lot 83 intended for conservation purposes.
And I would stick that right in note one, I think. And I would spell considered correctly in note one, twice.
Yeah, that's a good way to spell consider, I hadn't seen it that way before.
I've never seen it that way either, but, you know, whatever.
Separate, wrong, too, isn't it? Two A's are separate.
Anybody from the public like to speak?
Yes.
Come on up and state your name, please.
David Hunt. So just to clarify, the simple explanation is Squaticook River Watershed wants to buy the land to put into conservation, but they don't want the field, so they're converting the field to the lot that the house is on. Okay,
In a nutshell, yes.
all right, that's all I needed to clarify.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just a question.
Did I hear somebody say they had a question? Oh, okay.
Just wondering what they were doing with it.
Anybody else like to have comments, questions, concerns, anything? No?
As
Okay.
long as it doesn't affect our land
No, it doesn't.
so far.
No. I'm sure it doesn't.
In that case, I close the public hearing.
I do have a question now. That's that piece of land.
Well, wait a minute. Right after I close the public hearing, you suddenly have suddenly have a question?
I was just curious.
I'll be nice and let you come on up. You have to come up and state your name and
All right,
address.
I'll do that. I was just curious exactly where that piece of land is.
What's your
That
name?
was,
What's your
my
name?
name is Thomas Lemay.
Thank you.
I live at 243 Hodgson Road.
Where exactly is the piece of property we're talking about?
Yeah, that's all it was a simple question.
It starts right across from your driveway and goes
Yes.
down
Is that
France Road.
That's what I wanted to know.
Right across.
Right across from my driveway down to La
Basically-
France
basically
Road.
Down to France Road, yes.
Okay, and what are they doing with this again?
Nothing, putting it in conservation.
No comment.
Okay, this is the last time I'm gonna ask. Any more questions, comments, concerns, anything? Yes, sir, come on up.
So my name is Tyler Raskowski. I live on 162 Hodgson Road. I know I'm on the other side. Down on the France, there's a pond down there, and I know that there was a waiver for no watershed or
Wetlands, yes.
wetlands. So this plan does not have anything to do with that pond down there, correct?
We don't show the pond.
Okay.
I don't know anything about it, we aren't gonna
Because when you go down to the Class 6 road, it's down at the end, and sometimes I have it leak into my property, pond into my property, and I just want to make sure there's no excess water going into it, creating any further.
It's all gonna be conservation, so nothing should happen.
Okay.
Beavers and things change things though. Yeah. Especially this year, in the last couple of years. Okay, here we go again. Are we sure we're done with the peak talking about the subdivision? Ma'am?
I'm
No?
all set.
Okay. Everybody's all set? Okay, now I'm gonna close the public comment. Again, honest. So I got well radius Leachfield, Monument Southeast Corner, lot 79, pin and legend, you agreed to give topo, get La France Road, all the text all in sheet 1, spell considered correctly twice in note 2.
And separated.
Note 1.
Note 1, yeah, I wrote 1, why'd I say 2?
There's gonna be a new note 1.
No, we're gonna add
And you're
to
adding,
the
we're
intent.
gonna add to note 1 saying the intent for lot, the intent is to have 83, lot 83 be in conservation or something like that. I'm just thinking if something happens and for some reason the sale doesn't go through, then we have a lot that says it's gonna be in conservation.
Well, that was the intent at the time of the meeting.
That's why I use the word intended.
That's why I mean,
I'm just thinking to, I'm thinking to another site in town where somebody did a subdivision before I was on the board back in the 90s, and they wrote no building in this site because they didn't propose to do anything, but now it's like in the deeds and everything else, there's no building to be in this one area.
I can't do that on
I know,
this.
that's what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to avoid that, I don't want all of a sudden,
Yep.
they sell it to, they sell it
Yeah,
to Bruce,
no,
and Bruce
they,
can't do anything with it.
they specifically told me that, can't hang this up on, must be, set to conservation because of assessments and such like that. That is the goal, that is the plan, that is what's happening, but I can't, at this point, tie it to that.
That's what
I'm working for Piscataqua River, I mean, that's,
Don't get me wrong,
yeah.
what I'm.
No, I get what you're doing, you're trying
And if
to,
we get if we get a motion to approve it conditionally, and note 1 has to be revised to say something about conservation, I gotta make sure that it's not, how do I say this? It's not a judgment decision on my part that your note is correct.
my note, it's gonna say, the purpose of this plan is to convey parcel A, yada, 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 separate record, and I guess at the end, I'm gonna add lot 83 is intended for conservation purposes. I don't happen to have a copy of Black's Law Dictionary on me, but I'm not sure what intended is going to, I mean, I feel like intended is a weak word, like, yeah, it's intended for it, we didn't do that, so, you know, you're leaving it open. I don't think that's what's gonna happen, so I don't see it being a problem, but I don't think that that's strong enough to make it, it's weak enough that I'm comfortable with it, but I don't think it's strong enough for you to be comfortable with it.
I'm comfortable.
Yeah, I think it's helpful for the contingency I laid out, of like, if it does fall through a year later, whatever.
In our reality, let's say it falls through, so then you guys are looking for bounds on that back piece. So somebody wants to do something with it, show us some bounds on that back piece. That's what we're up against, is the waivers here, so,
Well, no, if somebody buys it, they can build a house on it right now. After the plan gets signed and recorded,
yeah.
build a house on it, all you need is.
Well, you could buy it and put a house on it right now if the lot line adjustment wasn't done, and it would be in the same spot, so it's kind of a no harm, no foul situation. Then if something bigger than that were to happen, they'd be back in front of you, and then we'd be looking for, you know, full boundary and monuments on everything.
I'm okay with the intended part.
Okay. Everybody's okay with the intended part? How'd you say that again?
Lot 83 is intended for conservation purposes.
How many acres is that?
Boy.
A
how
lot.
many- How many times? have I got to point this
Approximately.
out here?
One at a time.
About 42 acres.
For compensation, for the,
Yes.
So what I have is 42.25 acres, but it's per reference plans that show the general shape of the lot. But after going out there and doing some survey work, I'm not sure the area calculations they have are exactly right or even in the ballpark. I think it's more, but we're not surveying the back of it. We're just asking for the waiver for it because to survey 50 acres versus 12 acres is 5 times more acres and cost and so on and so forth, is why.
I'm just thinking, if the stuff don't go through and they sell that separately, where you can build homes, that you can build a lot of homes on that.
Then it would have to come to the board for, it would have to come to the board for a full scrutiny.
One house has got to come back to us.
They can't do anything except one particular house will come back here.
Yeah, I'm just-
And they could do that right now as it sits anyway.
Okay, so backing up. Well radius leach field, southeast corner, lot 79, pin in the legend, topo, La France Road. Label moved up a little bit. Considered misspelled twice in note 1, and you're gonna,
And the word separate.
and separate. And separate?
Yeah, 2 places also.
Jeez.
You can just run spell check on the notes, I mean, that's fine. That's in my things to do at the end before printing Mylar.
Yeah, but I usually have this with me when I'm looking at the plan to get ready to
I
sign.
I copied that note right off the last plan, you didn't nail me on it for that.
Last plan, you should have said last plan, Craig did.
You know, he's ready to retire. Things get, no. Okay. So we have a motion.
Yes,
Okay.
No, we don't.
I'm making the motion.
Okay.
I'll second.
He has to make it first.
He's working it.
Oh, I thought you were making it as explained.
Make a motion to conditionally approve the plan as per Craig's notes here. Well radius be added to the plan, leach field be added to the plan. What's that southeast corner? Add a pin to the legend, you gotta place that pin indication on the plan.
Yep.
But, topo will be added to at least 5-foot contours. Shift the word La France Road so it falls on the sheet. Spelling errors in note 1 and the rest of the plan. Building setbacks be added to lot 79. The total area,
Oh, no.
no.
That's the waivers.
Yeah, okay.
There. Forget that.
Yeah.
But yeah, building setbacks, lot 79.
Yep, I said that. Add to note 1 about the intended use of lot 83 being conservation.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, discussion. Not you guys.
Yeah, we're out of order.
Hearing no comments. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Thank you.
Congratulations.
That's it. Take care now. You too.
Guess nobody wants to hear our story.
Lucky you. Next item on the agenda is Frank Knight Parks, Concord Stage Road, map 403, lot 232. Applicants are seeking a conditional use permit to build a home on a right-of-way that currently has 2 residences. Okay. We don't have a real good application for this, but
No, we searched,
Yeah.
I came here and we searched for like 3 hours to find the original subdivision plan, and nowhere to be found. We narrowed it down between 80 and 85, but that was it.
which lot are you, 232? Why am I lost?
Like a common driveway goes down through here with that, and that. Not in the frontage.
Ah. Where is this in the world?
Burnt Hill Road. Is it Burnt Hill Road?
Burnt Hill Road is directly
Right across the
across
street.
from the driveway.
Oh. Is that this?
11.4 acres.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So you found this plan that shows your lot, right?
Let me see what you're looking at here.
This
Where are
lot.
we here? 70s?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
This is our driveway, this is where we're looking to build right here, the 11.4 acres.
Just want to
Yes.
make sure I was,
Yep. This piece right here does not access down here. They actually access 77 up there. Their driveway is like right over here. This parcel here does not access the driveway that we're looking to, come off of.
This doesn't show.
Number 235?
234.
Yeah, 234.
234, right, correct. They do not access,
235 does, and these two back here do.
correct.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Good boy.
I know.
So there's the road right there.
Yeah. That helps.
Is there a building already on the property?
No, sir.
No.
We're looking to build a home.
So there must be a shed or something there.
No.
What's the log cabin in the picture?
The log cabin is the piece right before us, on the same side of the driveway, the right-of-way.
Yep, that's lot
You come down the drive,
That's lot 235, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
yeah, you come down the right-of-way, there's a log cabin, and then, we're the next parcel.
Was there an old camper there or something?
There was a, yes, there was a
Google
camp.
something?
Yes, there was
The
a,
map's old.
oh, there was a camper, yes.
Yes, years ago, yeah.
Well, this is, what's that mean, X's GIS?
Just the site where this information came from.
Did you just say it's 235?
Yes.
The camper is no longer there.
232.
232,
232 is their lot.
Okay.
The other lot actually has frontage on Concord Stage Road,
correct.
but it's all wet right there, I think.
Yeah, and it's pretty steep.
It's a huge steep bank right there.
Yes, yep. Yeah, our piece wraps around back to the front,
Ann's Drive goes down there pretty steep.
yes.
So, as far as the application goes, let's go there first. Obviously, we notified the abutters. Maybe not
Yes.
obvious, but we did. And we got,
Even the dump.
we got it. Yeah, let me know the town envelope here is not open. yet.
Yeah,
From the town to the town. So,
I filed for a state driveway permit, which we did get that.
Modification to the driveway.
Nope, it was, the town They had, told me I had to apply for a, state driveway permit, cause we're coming off of 77, even though there was an existing one from all the other prior residents, so we did get that.
Yeah, you're changing the use of the existing driveway, so you need a new driveway permit.
Right, yeah.
Looking at the GIS, looking at this GIS, it looks pretty wet.
The whole lot does?
Yes.
We had a test pit, for septic and everything, all that's all been completed.
That doesn't look wet,
Yeah, it doesn't look like that here.
The back behind us is wet.
back is the swamps.
The back is a swamp.
This left side, on the right side, is all wet.
Right, that long stretch, that is all swamp.
Yeah, it's all swamp all the way up to
Yep.
the road.
Yeah. that makes
Right,
sense.
right, and that's why we can't go out.
That's right.
Right, that's why we wouldn't be able to access 77.
I think they need a variance.
Okay, we got a couple.
Jim, we've got the new private road driveway ordinance. But what it requires for that to be effective is you need to have a driveway agreement, maintenance agreement, that everybody that uses it is on board with.
Okay.
It all needs to be,
And basically gotta build it to the road, to a road spec 20 feet wide.
What, does that
It's
turn
co-
into a private road, is that what you're saying, or?
yeah.
Okay. How wide is it now? Gotta
Well, it's
be-
pretty close to 20 feet,
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
mean,
wide.
But what, I guess we have to figure see what the specs to classify as a
That's where you
private.
have the gravels, it's same as the town road,
Oh, boy.
except 20 feet wide.
As far as the depth of gravel and all that stuff.
Now, is that the whole, or just to where we would access our land?
The whole thing.
To everybody's driveway?
Well, the common part, where everybody cuts off it to go to the house, that part, it stops there. So the part that everybody.
So almost most of it?
Well, because people access it, they'll be accessing it past us.
Right,
Yeah, there's two houses past you.
Correct.
So that common driveway section continues past your house.
Right.
And then it's where those two driveways
actually, because
split
we
out.
put that in years ago, that's where we
Yeah.
lived.
Right.
So there's already 4 houses on this road?
Yep, yes.
And it's not a road?
Correct.
More of those,
Well, it has,
What is the limit where it changes where you have to get the variance?
over two.
All right, so why wasn't this, why didn't
There's
this
three
have to be
now.
done on when the third house was built? Back in 95?
probably because I'm assuming we have a zoning regulation that says you're allowed 2 houses per driveway,
Okay,
on a driveway. After that, it becomes a road.
okay.
Right,
And private roads don't have, private roads, you can't build on a private road back then.
right.
So I assume this was subdivided prior to the 2 driveways, 2 lots on a driveway ordinance being passed.
Yes,
But now, you have to meet the current zoning, so more than 2 is a private road.
even though it was subdivided prior to that.
Right, even though, well, your grandfather for like 5 years, and this was done in 85, so, yeah, in 85, we didn't have a planning board, so. Yes, you were grandfather for a couple, you had, what's the word I want? Not grandfather,
Vested?
yes, vested. You had a big 5-year vesting period.
Okay.
Basically, which is long gone. Or you you either do a private road for the town specs, or you go to the zoning board for a variance. I think that's your 2 choices.
And to do the private road, you'll have to get everybody on board with the maintenance agreement and all that.
Right, which that's not an issue, that wouldn't be an issue,
But
but.
it's gonna be expensive.
Right,
How long is the driveway? 720 feet?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that's just this.
That's just that, that's,
300 more, plus a little more yet.
Plus that, yeah, it's,
So to get to your lot, you're probably having 500 feet,
yeah,
just to get to your lot.
get to the lot, and then we have
Right, then
that
there's
again.
another, that again.
So does 226.1 have it on your property, a driveway, or is it just after your property?
Which one is 220?
Which one is, I don't know which one is.
Right.
Which one is it?
This property here, I don't know who owns that, 226.1.
That's, right, where are we at here? Alright,
Kevin Town.
Kevin, yeah, Kevin.
Yeah, he goes down the
Sandy.
driveway and then
Yeah.
cuts
So he's
off.
coming up here, but is he on your property line? I mean,
No.
because it looks, looking from
Yes, he
above.
comes in, he turns in here, this is his driveway, you come into here and then his house.
Just a little
Okay.
tail.
So
Both
that
these,
tail is
both
the
these
driveway.
houses drive down their lot.
Correct,
because
correct.
The driveway is on their lot.
Okay. Yeah.
The town,
Right,
and
it's
right,
completely on it.
The town forces,
Separate.
right?
The town
right
forest is
across,
right
off their
here.
lot is town land.
Okay. It's just interesting to, we had that property up on River Road that had a driveway going across their property, and then they had to make a driveway easement to get on their property.
Yeah, we're still fighting about that.
Are they?
How does it work with a shared driveway?
It's only allowed 2 lots, by
Oh,
definition.
Okay.
I think that's your 2 choices. You have to come in with a design, an engineered design showing the road and structural section, the whole 9 yards.
So that's choice one, or choice two is go ask for a variance.
Right, go for variance.
What are the chances of that? Do they ever give those out?
I can't tell you if
We got a whole new zoning board, so I don't know.
Okay, well, that's our only choice, because we
Right.
can't afford to do that
Yeah.
driveway like that, that's crazy.
Right.
That's,
Yeah, you're talking $500,000 easy.
yeah, that's stupid. Okay.
Okay, guess we're done here then. Thank you for your time.
So technically, we did not accept your application as complete.
Yep.
So. I'm not sure what it was, but-
We had to figure it out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. No, I didn't steal anything. Good. I stole that. Do we have any minutes? I have
No.
idea. I haven't been here for a long time.
No
so
minutes.
We were right up to date except for the last meeting with a minute, so.
We don't, okay, good. So we have the request for proposal you and I were gonna do, and we didn't do. Right?
The engineering,
Yeah.
So I went through that, I had some recommendations, but I can email them to you. And there's quite a few spelling errors.
I think this needs to be whittled down drastically.
Well, we did discuss it briefly last meeting.
yeah, try to get to the,
I sent Naomi a bunch of questions and got a bunch of answers back, but that was, is it true this RFP is mostly for reviewing plans for subdivision for the planning board?
I don't know, mostly is probably accurate, but I wouldn't say like, 90%, but I'd say, yeah, at least half for planning. And like I talked about at the last meeting, we realized late last year, early this year, there were a bunch of people that the town does business with that probably should have contracts or have contracts that expired. This is one of them. And so just want to go through and like make sure that a contract exists, and for that to happen, we need to put an RFP out. So like nobody, as far as I'm aware, nobody has any reason to believe that we wouldn't end up with the exact same engineer we have right now. It's just put it out, get it under contract.
Do we need a contract to have somebody reviewing subdivisions whenever the applicants are paying for it?
No, this is, well, to the best of my knowledge, no.
That's 90% of what we do, maybe 95.
Yeah, I mean, if that's all the feedback is, then sure. Because that was the only ask of planning was, hey, before the town, because we have an existing engineer that we work with as a town, and I believe, and I guess don't quote me, but I believe they were previously under contract that has lapsed. It's just, hey, we're gonna do this again, can you help us do it right? And if that's the feedback is, hey, the only thing planning ever needs an engineer for is for subdivision review.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is if you're gonna, I mean, I saw surveys in here, I saw other things in here, but if you're gonna hire somebody to just do a survey of a piece of land and where, of a town, more than likely, it's gonna be more than $5,000. 90% of, I can't imagine one being less than that anymore. Maybe 10, easily.
Yeah.
You can't put a line across your parking lot without costing you.
So you're gonna put out an RFP separate anyway, you're not gonna just give it to somebody, I hope. When you get over, my mind, once you get over a $5,000 threshold, it ought to go out to bid. Rather than just saying, yeah, we're gonna give it to Joe because he's our town engineer.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
The same way with most engineering designs, it's gonna be, to do anything, it's gonna be more than $5,000.
So I know, before I keep talking, let me write that down.
I mean, going through your list, going through the list of the old list at least, zoning reviews per town code requirements, zoning review should be done by the attorney, not by the engineer. MS4 compliance, I didn't know we were big enough to have a MS4. I didn't think we had.
And I guess to repeat some more comments from last planning meeting, this is not a, hey, this is what we have finalized and we want you to give a thumbs up. This is somebody copied and pasted some stuff together, let's work through it together. So, yeah, I would expect some things like that. But I know that I missed the first 2 meetings, planning meetings, and that's when this came up, so it's been a few months now.
I've been here since March, so join the club. Between hospitals and everything else, I couldn't be here.
So I would just ask if anybody intends to provide feedback, please do so, maybe by email. Just, as long as we're not responding and having a back and forth, you just say, here you go, one-way communication. This is the feedback. We don't have a meeting this Monday, we have a meeting the next Monday. And I don't know what the agenda is, because those get set the week before. But I believe we talked about having this on the agenda for that meeting.
So we email you directly?
I would email Naomi, yeah. Email Naomi, and she can get it to us as needed.
Do we have it in a Word document?
I don't remember either.
It came to us as a PDF.
Yeah, if we could get it as a
Okay.
Word, we could do track changes.
Yes, let me find a better place to write that down.
That would be easier. And she can just incorporate her deny.
Okay, engineering.
Okay.
Okay, got it. And yeah, I mean, I think it was mostly Bruce last time had some good feedback as well. I wrote down, yeah, a lot of it was, we did call out, hey, don't have we'll consider awarding a contract of a single respondent or multiple respondents. And he was warning like, hey, a single respondent could be 2 to 3 times more expensive. Don't include bridges because they're different engineering. Yeah, as far as planning is concerned, planning doesn't care about existing buildings, has an engineer but doesn't pay them, applicants pay, inspector for pavement, and then I wrote down the remark just now about the survey.
Time.
And, yeah,
yeah.
response time, 5 working days to next planning board meeting, minimum time for them to provide feedback, yeah. And spelling correction of begging to beginning. And what I would expect, and again, who knows how it'll go, but I would expect, we'll talk about this for 10, 15 minutes and say, great, we got planning board feedback. Somebody will volunteer to take a second stab at editing, bringing all the feedback together with, the existing document, and then we'll end up doing it again at a future meeting and coming back to planning board if needed. So, yeah, please provide feedback, but I don't expect a selectman decision at all. But it'd be good to talk about it.
Well, I don't know.
And if the feedback is, this is overkill, what are you doing? I mean, that's good feedback.
That's my feedback.
That's fine. I mean, that's
my feedback.
better than nothing.
I just looked at the one thing, the selected firm must provide provide personnel who meet the following minimum criteria in the following engineering disciplines: mechanical, electrical, structural, environmental. Well, we didn't list civil. Civil's the only one we really need here. Mechanical, electrical, structural, environmental. Planning board doesn't care about any of that. Well, maybe environmental, I guess, but mostly it's civil engineering.
But this is a description not just for us, this is for general
For
engineering.
the town,
Well,
yeah,
town,
but
But
understanding
at the same time, most of the stuff you're gonna, general engineering for the town should be done in a separate RFP. Cause you're not gonna get anything cheap.
Mm.
You're gonna be talking,
As far as,
Agreed, anyway.
for that specific need.
Right.
right,
Yeah, one example I gave last time was, we were trying to make a board decision on, the River Road Bridge, so there's replacement, and we were talking about, should we do an intermediate repair, before the replacement, and we got feedback, from the company that could do the repair saying, hey, we have to do an inspection that may or may not come back. If it comes back that the work that was done is acceptable, then we can raise the rating. If it's not acceptable, then we can't, but that whole thing is gonna cost like 40 grand. And so one of the steps we were trying to take was, hey, can we, before we go from 0 to 40 grand, can we ask our engineer, like the engineer's opinion? So it's that kind of stuff, it's what do we have access to before spending a bunch of money is the best use case I've seen so far.
I think you're gonna have a really hard time finding somebody that does mechanical, electrical, structural, environmental, and civil,
Well, you're gonna pay them a lot of money, cause it's gonna be someone like Hoyle Tanner or something.
at least,
Yeah.
yeah, VHB,
Right.
Oil Tanner.
Right.
Yeah, and it may be that we have to turn that into, hey, the town would like to make sure we have coverage in these areas and not, a single firm and prioritize them and, yeah, to repeat, it's all good feedback.
Okay, can you get us a Word document of this?
Yes, I've
Okay.
taken a note.
Do you wanna set a date on when you want the feedback by?
Next Wednesday.
Sure.
Perfect. That's great.
Sorry,
Third, yeah.
cause the meeting's the 8th.
Yeah, I was gonna say Friday, but I like Wednesday better.
Well, nobody's gonna be around Friday.
I don't know, we get dumped stuff on Friday all the time, and it's all weekend reviewing
July
stuff.
3rd, you're saying? Okay, thank you. So what'd you do about the master plan?
We said you're gonna appoint a committee.
Yes. You wanna appoint a subcommittee just to do the questionnaire.
Okay.
And then once that's done, you appoint a subcommittee to evaluate the questionnaire. Well, what's it, not evaluate, document,
Review, yeah.
review and give a report.
Tabulate.
Tabulate. I like that word.
You wanna be on it?
Me and Salem.
Yeah, yeah, we both.
Oh, you two volunteers for something?
Volunteer.
Yeah, we already did.
Okay.
Sorry. We couldn't act because you weren't here.
He was acting as chairman, he could've done it.
Oh, he deferred.
Whipped up. Oh, Bucky, way to go, Bucky.
There was no reason that we had to do it that fast.
No.
Yeah, and I guess to that point, and, you know, to catch up a little bit, we were talking about the timeline, and so starting at the very end, the hope is, if necessary, put a request on the warrant. If, you know, if possible. So then working backwards, okay, that means this has to be done before potentially CIP. Okay, so that means the questionnaire has to go out, you know, we were talking on the tax bills, but then that ends up being flip-flopped with CIP a bit.
Right.
So I don't remember, Bill, do you remember, it was like, have a subcommittee and terminate it by X date?
By
End of October, I thought. something
Yeah,
like that.
by the second October meeting,
Yeah, okay.
we'd be done.
You have anybody else for your subcommittee?
Yeah, we have to get it approved first before we go looking for people. And we'll put it through Naomi to put it out on the website to say we're looking for volunteers. Not 500 people, maybe 3 tops, 3 more besides
I
us.
was gonna say 5 max.
Yeah.
You get more than 5, and you're gonna have problems getting people to show up and.
Yeah.
No, five-member committee.
Yeah, 5 members, okay. I'll appoint you 2 to a 5-member appoint you 2 to a subcommittee. For the master plan subcommittee.
With the task of creating a questionnaire.
Well, the survey or whatever it's called.
And does anybody have that October date handy?
24th.
So you're gonna have a questionnaire ready for October 4th?
24th.
2-4.
So the consensus of our meeting the last time, because there was no 20 questions brought forward, the consensus was that we're gonna use and augment the current questionnaire, expanding in a couple different areas or removing a couple different areas based upon information that the board had already provided, and then go from there. And if that's the case, we're looking at the Stratford document, and then,
Amber's had a couple of questions.
yeah, but there was a questionnaire that you brought forward from that lady. And I don't know, we don't have it, but she referenced one that she liked.
Yeah.
I can't remember what was in that email, but
Yeah, I forget. It was
Hampstead, Hanover. Yeah. So to just kind of look at those 2 documents, because we were impressed with the Stratford one, over the Amherst and Hooksett one, I think it was, as well.
The ones that actually went out, that I've printed out, our own Oberlin, Amherst, and Stratford.
Stratford, right. So to use those 3 as the foundation for,
You realize these meetings have to be posted, you need to have
Yes.
a chairman and a vice chairman, all that kind of stuff,
Correct.
so you gotta keep minutes and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
they know they're gonna meet on Wednesdays.
Pardon me?
I said they know they gotta meet on Wednesdays.
on Wednesdays.
If you look at the rules, really,
Every other Thursday is available, right?
maybe.
Maybe, I don't know.
No,
I think so.
could be.
You can always go upstairs.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Well, it has to be a public meeting, right?
It'll be a public meeting
It
upstairs.
just, yeah, if there's a conflict, it wouldn't be on video, which is, it's not preferred, but it's still legal as long as it's posted. And
Okay. So we initially thought that use the rest of this month and into July to recruit the other 3 people and then start right in on it in August, September. And should be done by that date. Because there's enough of information in all those documents to put a good questionnaire together.
Yeah, there is.
So, and then that will be presented to the planning board on the 24th to say yay or nay. And then it goes out as a Screen Monkey reference and a tax bill, or even before that, in a email blitz or Facebook blitz, whatever type of multimedia blitz, in order to get that information out there.
I think the tax bill's the way to go.
Yeah.
For sure. Throw it on the website, to wherever you can. Put in a little.
Because what's the tax bill, January 1st, or? This last one is June, goes
Maybe it's
to
June.
Monday, right? July 1st is the deadline for the
Yes, it was
spring.
out in November sometime.
Yeah.
So then it's due the 30th of December, or?
Yeah, it's got to go
Before
for
the fiscal
November
year.
somewhere.
Yeah, but but it, so we would have all
Well,
the
it's
information.
gotta be the end of December, because it's the
Right.
second one.
So we would then, I would say, I guess we'll make that recommendation once we have the questionnaire done, but the recommendation of when to close the Screen Monkey is to say that it's done the end of, because if we want to get something on the warrant, it would have to be the end of the fiscal year, the calendar year. I don't know what the fiscal year is. Our fiscal year is,
Fiscal goes with, shoot,
Fiscal goes to March 15th, doesn't it? Or March whatever.
but the town does,
I think it's April 1st. isn't it?
April 1st and March 31st.
I'm blanking.
I think so, but I'm not positive
I think it's April 1st.
Well, the point is
I
that
think it is April.
we still need time to get it, if we need to bring anything to be on the warrant for funding for anything further, we would need to have that outlined by a certain time, which, so if we have the information closed by December 31st, as far as the opportunity to report,
Should give us time to get.
because I can't remember, what did it say on the present one? Is this one? It's not there. Yeah, what's it say on the top here? Survey and return it before November 21st. So, if it's gonna go out, I mean, the questionnaire is not gonna go out in the tax bill, a card in the tax bill that's gonna have
A link
a link.
or QR code or something.
Oh, yeah,
Both.
so that then it's done by the end of the calendar year, and then that information should be available to us to then discern in the month of January, so once this is completed and you say this is the way we're going for the questionnaire, then in November, December, we can appoint another committee to tabulate the information. And it may just be the same people, it could be, but.
Okay. If you have trouble, let me know. I got 2 people in mind already, so I just thought of them, but
Well, there's no reason why we can't recruit, right?
I'll ask them.
All right.
I'll start recruiting for you. CIP.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I had some new business.
Yeah.
I have thought,
Bruce is the chairman of the CIP.
I'm the only member of the CIP as it stands right now. Which leads me to my thought. A lot of towns, this town chose to, at some point, make a committee for the CIP. A lot of towns, the planning board is a CIP.
Most towns make a subcommittee of the planning board.
Given what we've got the CIP structure to, last year it took 3 meetings, about an hour apiece. And we've had trouble getting members because we've been meeting during our workday, because that was the best time to get department heads to show up.
Sure.
But we've got it to such a condensed time frame right now, all the department heads know exactly what they need to do, everybody's well aware of what the process is, what needs to be done. Everything's in place, so we're working on a 5-year plan, they bring something in for 6 years from now, it gets out of the 5-year plan. I don't see why the planning board couldn't do it again, because it's not a big deal. And to get other people to commit to showing up during the work week was getting problematic.
But isn't that
We
necessary
don't-
for your department heads, or
Well,
are you gonna make sure?
Department heads come here at night?
no, if we had a couple of planning board meetings, maybe start them earlier or something for the 3 CIP meetings. Actually, only 2 of them department heads came to, the third one was the CIP kind of prioritizing everything, putting everything together. So a department head really needs to come to 1 CIP meeting.
And, yeah, I mean, I don't think it's unreasonable to ask, the department heads to come to 1, even 2 evening meetings.
If we
They
do-
often
maybe
come
we
individually.
start at 6 o'clock instead of 7
Yeah.
o'clock, you know?
Yeah. I don't think that's
For
too
those
So that
unreasonable.
is the CIP a public
Yes,
meeting, in the sense that you have to,
yep, you have to post it and everything.
notice
Post it, think
what
what's
you're
going on.
doing and all that?
Yep.
Seems
So
reasonable.
it could be worked into a work session
Yeah.
as
We
opposed
could do it,
to?
we could do it, the 2 meetings with the department heads come, we could do in 1 month. We could have the work session and the second meeting. And for like the month of, say, November or whatever, we do, you know, half or wherever it is, we start 6 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock for those 2 meetings. The meeting where we're powwowing and prioritizing, we don't need to start that one early because there's no department heads here.
Right.
I think it's a good idea.
It solves the problem.
I think so.
And
Especially if you've got it streamlined and well-oiled to know expectations, this is what we need for information.
Yeah, they don't have to come here and figure out what they need, they all know.
Right.
Well, they gotta convince us that that's what they need.
Right, well,
We're gonna go along with it.
right, but I mean, as far as their documentation and what they need to get prepared for, they'll have everything all spelled out when they get here.
So is there any reference to an RSA pertaining to that?
Oh, yeah.
That a planning board can fill that role?
The planning board,
Usually
it is
follow.
the planning board's responsibility unless they set up a.
The CIP is a subcommittee of the planning board.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to do a little research on that.
Yeah, the only thing, or the first thing I would wanna check is whatever planning meeting it was established, and just make sure there weren't any stipulations or, you
We'll
know,
have to de-establish it.
intentions. Yeah. Cause yeah,
Yeah,
I think it's as easy as just
just make sure we're not getting.
expand it.
And the planning board, you know, take it over again.
Yeah, the responsibilities would just come back to the planning board.
Right.
Shouldn't be anything wrong with it, but I'm gonna check, see.
No, that's fine.
So we're gonna put that on the agenda for the next meeting to approve that?
Yep.
Which is what, July 11th?
Mhm.
Might wanna make it 2 meetings. Instead of the end of July, 1st of August.
2 meetings out?
Yep.
No, we need to make it, next meeting to make the,
Not for the CIP meeting, but just to.
no, just to form the, to make that change.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, yes. Wait till August 8th.
That's fine, we got time.
Why is that?
I'm not gonna be here.
Oh.
Yeah, we got time.
I gotta be in Goffstown again, maybe. I might be in Goffstown the 8th too for that.
We got.
Okay.
What else did I miss? Is that it in 2 months?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, we didn't meet
We
one.
didn't, we didn't continue anything, we
Oh,
just
that's right.
handled it on.
You 3 months.
Got sick, we didn't meet. There's nothing coming
Okay.
before us anyways.
Okay.
Well, in that case, motion to adjourn so we can go home and watch the fight.
The debate, you mean?
Yeah.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same. See ya, let me know if it's switched.
Second, just